Welcome back, folks. Vintage Sewing Machine Garage here. I'm kind of taking you guys along. I've been going in investigating the Singer Featherweight that I made the video on, talking about how machines that look beautiful can still have problems. And so I removed the needle plate. And I don't know if you guys have seen in my earlier videos, but needle plates for Singer 301s and Singer Featherweights, they have they're set up, they look like this underneath. And I took it off to, I've got to see what's under there. Is there any issues? And I see, we've got some lint buildup. But again, these machines were engineered to take, a certain amount of lint buildup and still function. We're going to clean it, and they should be kept clean, those of you who don't clean your lint. And shaking my finger at you. But that would not necessarily cause remember, on a certain part of the rotation, there was like resistance. So I took the plate out, and I also remembered, of course, that the shuttle here, it's kind of hard to see. I'm going to zoom in for you guys. It's kind of an odd thing to show here. But this is the top finger, if you will, or ear of the shuttle, right? And it fits. Remember, I told you guys when you're putting your plate back in, that as you put the plate in, this finger or ear, it's not the bobbin case, right? Because we're used to bobbin cases that have those little protrusions. It looks like this, and it has to line up with a gap. Well, these machines, the Featherweights and 301s, they have the same need, but the finger or the little ear, whatever we want to call this protrusion, is not in the it's not in the bobbin case, because here's the bobbin case. This is actually attached to the shuttle. So when you put the plate back in, that finger has to go into this notch. If it doesn't, you're going to have problems. And I thought, well, maybe it's that. No, it was in the right place. So I took this out and I started looking underneath. And look what I found. These two, if you look on this side, you'll see two screws, and they're holding up this metal band. And these bands are supposed to sit, they're like under tension, and they should be resting here, but they weren't. I took it out. I'm like, why is that? I don't even know. Maybe it was taken out at some point in the past, and it could have been taken out in such a way that, I don't know, maybe they took it out and inadvertently, a lot of this stuff happens by accident, so inadvertently they got these popped off, and I don't know for sure, but look at this. Remember, the feed dogs are coming down and moving, and now I don't know, again, I don't know if this is coming out enough to cause an issue with the feed dogs, but it could, right? So we're going to try that. I still got to go through the machine and do all the cleaning and lubricating, but I wanted you guys to see this because I'm like, well, that's weird. Now, it could be that I put all this back and get it all squared away, nice and clean, and it still has the problem. So, you don't want to get too excited too early because you never know, right? So what I'll do is I definitely want to get the lint cleaned off here, which is one of the reasons I took this off. Sometimes you'll have oil and lint underneath that's, sticking there, and you just want to get it cleaned. You can see some of this here coming off, but there's not a lot. This is not a particularly dirty needle plate, but I was surprised to see this. So let's see, hopefully that'll fix the issue that we're dealing with. So what am I trying to accomplish here? I want this to go back where it belongs, and I need to do it in a way that doesn't hurt it. So we're gonna see if we can get this over, and then boom, there we go. So now this is back where it needs to go, and this one we need to do the same thing. We're just going to kind of hop it up a little bit, see if we can get it to go into the little slot there. And again, you do it carefully, don't get, there we go. So now they're back in place. Okay, we're not done with the overhaul of the machine, but we want to make sure that these were not in the way. So that's one theory. We'll see if the theory holds any water. While I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of some of the lint dust. Cleaning your lint is one of the few things that once you get a machine that's been serviced, right? You've got a vintage sewing machine, it's been serviced, it's all good to go. As you use it, and it's a good idea to check with every project, depends on the fabric you're doing and how many hours you've been sewing. There is no, I can't give you a specific amount, but you definitely want to look at this on occasion because you're going to get lint built up. Use good quality thread. That'll give you, you'll be able to go longer. But all sewing machines need this area cleaned of lint because it just builds up, and that's just how it is. Now, I was also inspecting the machine because it came with a very nice, lovely foot pedal. This is the Singer button style, one of the most common, and looks to be, it's got nice rubbery feet. I think those are probably replacements, or at least one of them is. One of them looks a little gooey here. I think it might be original, but these others look fairly new. I don't know how new they are, but you look at the cord, and the cord looks newer than what I'm used to seeing. This could be the original cord, and I want to look at it. I want to see what's going on with it, right? What do I see here? Mostly what I see this is a strain relief for the cord to help prevent it from getting all overly stressed and cracked. But anyway, as I'm going through this cord, I notice, oh, here's a section with electrical tape. Electrical tape is a no-no. I do not like it. I don't use it because it's not permanent, right? If you're in a pinch and you need to use something in that moment, I've seen people do this, but it doesn't, they come unraveled. And the reason it was on there is, look at that. Now this is not dry rotting. I've shown you guys old cords before where you bend them and they crack. This cord is in very good condition. It's very pliable. Not seeing now. That's when you really need to check them. You take your finger and your thumb, make sure it's not plugged in, of course, and you're just going to simply go along the edge and feel for anything that feels rough or not smooth. Sometimes the crack will actually, you'll be able to feel it before you can see it. Okay, and you want to make sure you have good light. I'll turn my, oh, here we go, right? Make sure you have really good light. Now, what happened here? This does not look like dry rotting. This looks like damage. Damage to an electrical cord can happen for many reasons. Maybe it got pinched. Maybe, a pet chewed on the thing, which is not unusual. So the cord is not rotten. It is, I can see here where the insulation has actually been compromised here, right? So that's going to have to be repaired or replaced, one of the two. But the point is, again, this is a gorgeous machine. You think, oh, it's in great shape. It just needs a little, just a little cleaning and oiling. Well, it does, but it needs a lot more than that. So this is the first thing we've noticed, and I'm going to check while I'm at it here. Let's see if this is, see if these little screws have gotten loose over time or if they're fine. Somewhat, but not terribly loose. I mean, they're okay. Again, they don't have to be super tight, but we just want to make sure that these pieces stay where they belong. So we're gonna, I am going to reinstall this right quick, and let's just see. And of course, remember, when you install it, you got to make sure that this piece here is lined up or it's not going to work. That's one that really tricks a lot of folks because they're used to, even if they're used to getting their bobbin case lined up, it's easy to forget. Let me get this sewing foot out of the way here. It's easy to forget that even on the featherweights and the 301s, you still got to get things lined up. So let's see, where are the feed dogs here? Right? We're going to make sure that we get this installed. Sometimes it's easier if this is all the way up. Depends. Now, is she or is she not lined up? Apparently not. Let's see. Okay. Now, let's see if I can get this. Now I have gotten the ear or the finger lined up where it needed to be. Let's see, with all the clanking going on, let's see if the obstruction has changed any. And guess what, guys? There's no obstruction. Aha. So the thing that was stopping this machine from doing what it was born to do, right, has now been removed. It's not, normally after you got through the whole rotation, it would hesitate and you'd have to kind of push to get it moved. That clearly was the obstruction. Now, we also had thread in the shuttle. Remember, we had thread caught behind here, and I've got to go back and make sure there's not any more. So we're not done. The machine still needs to be overhauled, but at least, fortunately, it appears anyway, that the obstruction that we found was basically something was not installed right, or it had come loosened for whatever reason, who knows. Probably by accident, or maybe somebody had a reason to take it off and forgot to put it back. That's a lot of times people just forget stuff, and that's, you know, we're all vulnerable to having moments like that. But I wanted to share this with you guys because, again, you know, you might think, oh no, there's something really wrong with it, and this is a way to troubleshoot, right? It's a way to troubleshoot a machine that you have. And it doesn't necessarily mean you can't fix it, but you need to kind of be sort of a detective in a way and start looking. And again, I just always like to look underneath the needle plates, and you just saw a really good reason why that's a good idea for you to do that. So that's exciting. Again, we got more work to do. Machine's not ready. We're just getting started. You know, I got to go through and do the usual procedures. Going to take this apart and see what's going on, make sure it's fine. It may just need a little lubrication. But anyway, I sure appreciate you guys watching and tuning in to all of my videos. And this, of course, being a Singer featherweight, they always get lots of attention. They are, again, one of the most popular of all the just going down here checking, make sure that finger is staying put, and it is. It's a happy bob and shuttle. So I'm going to continue moving forward as I go through the machine, but I'm going to be working on the machine, getting it ready, and then I'll do another video after. I guess the next video I'll do will be when I have this ready, you know, and I'll show you guys one of the things that makes these so popular, because they are beautifully engineered little machines. They're almost, like I say, if they were any smaller, they'd be a toy sewing machine. But I love the toy sewing machines. In fact, I think they're better built than even a lot of the real sewing machines are today. But anyway, guys, that's an example of troubleshooting. And again, I could have plugged this in. I could have just tried to get the motor to run. And it, you know, I could tell it was moving with effort. But there's no reason to strain your motor. In fact, if you have a machine doing this, you want to stop using it because the motor's not designed to overcome things like we just saw. But again, now that it's been put back together, it seems like it, hopefully, once everything's done, we'll get some good stitching. But not until I do the test stitching will I know. Anyway, thanks again, guys. I had some gorgeous sunlight today and really wanted to get in some videos. I really like the natural light that I can get to make videos. I just find that they come off a little bit better. So anyway, stay tuned for when I get this machine ready. I'll do a little sewing off and you can see her running. But basically, like I said, it's definitely worth to overhaul a machine, but just remember when you're making an offer on one that it may need work like this in order to run again, even when it looks beautiful on the outside. So beauty, they say beauty's only skin deep, but in this case, it sure was, because we needed to go below the surface of that gorgeous paint and deal with some things that, again, once they're done, this machine should crank up again and sew so beautifully like Singer featherweights always do. Thanks for watching, everyone.